betrayed him. He still pictures her as you were part of
the pimp. I call him the pimp.
It's in a book that can be stolen, a book that can be cracked open in someone else. But Professor Tatuba does try to clarify when Malik goes back to the past.
And we're back, sponsored by us. Welcome back to the Key and J Book Podcast.
Sponsored by Black Excellence. That's what my shirt says.
Welcome back to the Key and J Book Podcast. I'm your co-host Jay, along with my co-host Key, and today we are covering Book 2 of Capone.
Yes.
Let's get into the week. How's your week been so far?
My week has been amazing. I'm so happy that Christmas is this week. But as many people know, I work in healthcare. Healthcare does not close, so I will be working. But job security, you know what I mean? So yes, how is your week going, Jay?
Good. Not going to the mall, calling off. I'm going to go to Golden Corral for some breakfast.
Okay, I feel it.
I only work 4 hours tomorrow anyway, but I'm still not going. They ain't getting them 4 hours for me. That's a dead mission. My job, I don't really care about it too much like that. So they can kick rocks,
Cut that from the tape.
If they see it, they see it, Their problem, not mine. See how it work out for them. Come back and let me know. For real, what you got planned for Christmas, though?
I am going to be spending Christmas with my husband. I'm going to go visit my grandparents. Since we are grown, we don't really do the whole big Christmas, but we do ask each other, what do you want? What do you want? And we pretty much get each other our Christmas gifts even before Christmas, but it just is a time to spend time with family. And I can't wait to do that. See my grandparents, visit my cousin. I'm going to go see one of my good friends, Tatiana. Hopefully we're doing a gift exchange. Okay. So yes, lots of fun things planned. What about you? I know you got kids, so I know it's going to be fun. Unwrapping the gifts and
they ain't getting nothing. They gonna get some cash and get out my face. I've been doing this for years. They're done. They're done. Get the cash, go upstairs.
And get on my face.
That's it. Order what you want.
That's probably better because I feel like as a kid, your parent don't always know what you want anyway. I'd rather have the money and the freedom to buy what I want to buy. So that's good. Exactly. That's decent.
So I'm not even tripping. But other than that, man, I ain't doing nothing, man. Just trying to get through this whole series, which has been having me. Look, you remember when our parents used to be like, oh, you making it happen? Mm-hmm. I've been making it happen with this book series. I mean, I've been robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Literally, you have been zooming through. And the thing is, me and Jay talk about, he's not even a super fast reader. He's already done with Capone Book 1. He's finished the series. He's done. He's on to the next one. I'm so proud of you.
Good looking. Even trying to do that though, I had to goddamn do a bunch of stuff. I had to do the 99-cent here with this email and do this with this email and go to Kindle and download the book so I can get the book cheaper over here. And I just been making it shake, man, for real. But let's get into book 2. Let's not keep the people waiting.
Yes.
Where we left off at? We left off with book 1. What was the ending of book 1?
The ending of book 1 was Capone was about to put that heat on Timmy and Tasha's, he's your son. And we were like, which I'm going to be honest, I never believed it because Tasha has been with the whole block. And I'm thinking, how do you know that Capone is the daddy? How would you even know that? You sleep with everybody. So that's where book 1 ended. So, yep.
So do you feel like, as we start off in book 2, right? Do you feel like in the beginning, did you feel like the plot of book 2, did the story grab you in book 2, being that we was coming off of book 1? And, you know what I'm saying, did it feel forced to you,
No, not at all. Book 2 started with that fire, especially when we came off of book 1, there's a cliffhanger. We got to be like, oh my God, Timmy is Capone's son. What does that mean for the story? It had me excited to start book 2. And what I loved about book 2, the plot overall, it was fresh. It's a sequel. So it's the second book to the first book, but it still felt like we're tackling completely different issues. Aaron and Capone have a nice surprise. We get to meet Capone's mom and dad. There's just a lot of fresh things happening in this book. It felt fresh. It's still connected to the first, but a bunch of twists, stuff I didn't see come in. So I loved it. I zoomed through it, but I feel like the plot was definitely fresh, definitely exciting. It had me excited to read it. I told Jay this. I read the book in 1 6-hour sitting. I just sat down and read it because I could not put it down. Physically, I couldn't. People was calling me, texting me. I'm like, yeah, I'll deal with that later. I'm in Capone universe right now. So yes, I absolutely loved and devoured book 2. What about you, Jay?
I thought the twist was real good. I think that she didn't fail in her attempt to keep the twist going. Everything felt authentic. We started moving around with the story. I like the fact that she did keep Triller. She kept the bad guy flowing through book one. I like
I felt the same.
The sub, I call it the sub bad guys because I feel like Tasha was a bad guy. We're going to talk about the Delaware Cats in a moment, which when we get to Kappa, it all makes sense. I don't know how she writes like this, but it all makes sense. And I just felt like there was no parts that dragged. Nothing was repeated. I mean, obviously the beef but every stage of their conversation, whether you was in Triller's space where he was talking and giving his narration, everything felt new. We learned more as the story progressed. So I felt like she did a good job at keeping the plot steady and keeping the plot moving and not having to come back and repeat anything that might have made the book drag and have a bit of cluster in the middle and stuff like that. So I felt like she did an awesome job with that.
I did too.
When we move on to our second portion of our critique rubric, we're going into characters. We meet a couple of new characters in this book. We get to meet more family. We get to meet some out-of-state cats who thought they was holding it down. So let's start off. When we say this, what did you think about meeting Blaze and how his situation and Aaron at the bus station? Did you think that Capone was going to let that one slide? Not let it slide, but did you think that Capone was going to react the way he reacted after they met?
Yeah, I thought he was going to react like that because if you guys have read Capone II, Blaze is Trilla's right-hand man, and Trilla sent Blaze to send Capone a warning. And what he did is Aaron, which we know she drives the bus. She's been driving the bus even before she met Capone. And that was an argument that they had in this book. He didn't want her working. He's like, you don't need to work. I love that about Erin, that she was fiercely independent. She was just like, I don't care what you got going on. I'm still going the fuck to work. I'm still driving this bus. That's what I've been doing. That's what make ends meet. I'm not depending on you. But she's riding the bus, and here comes Blaze coming up and touching her face, basically threatening her
on behalf. Touch you at any moment.
Yes, I could touch you at any moment. You're supposed to be Cap's girl, and look, I'm putting my hands on you. He's nowhere to be found. He couldn't even protect you if I wanted to do something to you. So I love that part, although I didn't love it for Aaron. But yes, like you said, we get introduced to some of Trilla's people. Blaze is one of his right-hand men. We get to be reintroduced to Trilla. We get his point of view. That's one thing I love. Speaking of character development, she has many different points of view. I've said this to Jay. I hate multiple point of view. I hate it. It's like I get confused. Was no confusion with this book. None. Each different character had not one. They each had their own voice. They had their own character. Even if she didn't put whose voice I was in, I would have known it because they each had their own voice. So yeah, like you said, we definitely get introduced to a bunch of new characters. We get to meet Capone's mom and dad who live in Barbados. Like, I really, really love that. We get to spend more time with CJ, who's Capone's son. Like, I was the one that was missing in this book, but in her absence, yeah, I agree with you, Jay. We got introduced to a lot of characters. Who was your favorite new character that we were introduced to?
I really like Capone's parents. I like the aspect of them knowing what the kids do, but them still being protective and supportive of their families, maybe not agreeing with the lifestyle, but coming to terms. Even his father introducing him to a real plug, back home.
Yes,
with the real purest of the purest, and I'm like, all right, we accept it, and we know y'all gonna be careful. They're loving parents, she didn't make it to where the parents disowned them, especially having West Indian parents who might not agree with that. The fact that they are a close-knit, strong Black family made it made it a lot better instead of just having it being dysfunctional. It was very family centric.
They were a unit.
Unit, even down to the
Delgados
siblings.
Were a unit. Yes.
Even down to the siblings with them and the parents and how they never judged their son for being locked up. They still cared for their son. They still loved their daughter, even though the mom and the daughter never really, meshed as far as like, her wanting kids and everything. There's still the dynamic was still there. The love was still there, and the acceptance, even though Erin was there for a short period of time, they still was able to, fill her in, you know what I'm saying? And, create a space where they loved, Joy and the moms hitting it off and them taking in Jaden and stuff like that. So I thought she wrote the Black family love just proportionately fine for me.
She did. She really did. And that's really what's different about this book from a lot of books that I read is when you think about like the street life, it's like every man for himself. You think about that, you know what I mean? They got their community, but it's basically every man. The Delgados are a unit. Like the mom and the dad know about their sons, just like you said, but they respect them. They love them. They care about them. Cappadonna's locked up and he's still making moves behind the gym. We get to see Capri in book 3 and we'll get to that episode, but the whole family slanging and gangbanging. Like the whole family's about that
Everybody's
life.
busting
Like
their gun, ready to go.
everybody is
That's
like,
a
we
fact.
ready.
That's a
What's
fact.
up?
That's a
What's up?
fact.
Everybody. And I love that. Like you said, it's just they in the streets, they selling crack.
Selling that crack, right?
Not on no New Jack City, Nino Brown, the world is mine. You know, they're family. It's not just one person. Like Capone loves and respects his family. He respects his parents. He loves his brother. I mean, that's his twin. He loves his baby sister. So just like you said, the characters were just like the bread and butter. Who was your favorite from this book? And don't say Naheem. You already apologized for what you said.
I'm off that.
Who's your favorite?
I'm off that, Naheem. I would have to say in this book, to be honest with you, King K. King K was my favorite in this book. I like the way, even though he got caught lacking, and maybe I'm speaking this into existence. So let me not say King K right now. I'm gonna hold that one. Like, what's his name? Joey? What's Joey? No, because Joy is the one who, and we'll get into that as well. Yeah. But Ra's mother, Aaron's aunt, she really throughout she held it down. You know what I'm saying? I think that she gets really overlooked in the book a little bit. The way she took care of Aaron when her twin sister died, and we find out other things happen with her and Ra later on. But even just the aspect of her, you know, when Jaden gets shot and everything happens and she's just there, and you know, she's dropping at the drop of a dime, is there to support her family. So it wasn't just the Delgados that had a good support system. I think Erin, you know, unfortunately what happened to her parents, and we'll talk about that later, she still has a support system in her aunt, who is like her twin sister mother, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I liked her character and how she came through when a lot of things in this book when Jaden needs his recovery and stuff. What about you?
My favorite character, I think I said this in the last book, was Capone. It's still Capone. Like, oh my gosh, you don't even understand.
There you go.
That man has my heart. He is just so loving and he's so caring. And I love how tough he is, but he's a secret softie. Like when he took her to the elephant place, you know, because that's something that Aaron always wanted to do. It's just the fact that he listens to her. Something that he said reminds me of something that Reginae said. Reginae is Lil Wayne's daughter. I watched this interview that she did, and she said, the reason why I will never believe any man is too busy for me, because my dad is one of the busiest men I know. And still, every single day, I talk to him every single day. Capone reminds me of Lil Wayne in that aspect. He's literally the head of this like crime family. You know what I mean? He's running everything. He's got to keep all these things straight. And yet and still, he makes it a habit to care and love on Aaron. Like he does. Like he recognizes her favorite lotions, like the food that she likes to eat, the places that she wants to go. Like, so I just loved how caring and attentive and sexy and loving and perfect and beautiful and wonderful and amazing and just... he just makes me smile. I was reading it and I was just like, I was like, Aaron, listen, girl. She was pissing me off a little bit in book 2 and book 3. And I was like, listen, if you ain't gonna do what you told, let me take your place. I will. He says jump. I'm gonna say how high, baby. How high you want me to jump? You want me to jump this high, this high?
Ow, let's talk about it. Which brings us over to, I like what you're saying, because now it brings us over to dialogue. So, you know, it definitely sounded like real life, because look at you, you know, not to be, but you got your panties in the bunch, you know, and you're ready to just say, oh my God, I'm in the milk in his arms if you don't want me.
Loved Capone. Yeah, I did. So the dialogue was just... natural. It just made me fall in love. It was natural. It didn't feel forced. I feel like this is how people in relationships talk to each other. The small little disagreements that they had. I loved that Aaron kept standing up for herself. I want to work. You're not going to force me to work. No, I don't want to do this. No, like, and that's what he loved about her. Like, he didn't want a woman who was just doing anything that would just come over, went over. He wanted, because he's already got that with Ella. Like, she does whatever he says, even when they argue. He says, come over. She's like, yeah, let me spread my legs and you can get in this coochie, you know, without any kind of like, he don't even have to work for it. With Aaron, he had to work for it. I love their dialogue. I did. One of my favorite parts of the dialogue in this book was that, do you remember when Aaron, she was afraid to shit in front of Capone because she was like,
ran all the way down the hall.
She ran, yes. And he said, she thought that she got away, and he said to her, your stomach good, dookie booty?
And she like, you're not getting none, which is nasty work. You cannot have sex after you take a shit. Like, that is...
No, absolutely not. I 100% agree. If I shit, it's over. It's over for the night. Like, matter of fact, like, especially if I don't go take a shower immediately, because sometimes, you know, you go take a shower tonight. You don't shower immediately after you take a shit, especially if you're at work or something. You got to have your wet wipes.
You be sitting at work?
I mean, I work from home, but I'm saying when I was at work, Jay, if I had to go, I had to go. I wasn't going to hold it. Like, my stomach would be bubbling. I would go to the 3rd floor bathroom where nobody ever would go. I would go in the farthest stall and I would just let it rip. Just let it rip. Just release 1, 2,
You're a
1, 2, 3,
plunging
release them.
champion.
It doesn't matter. I had to shit. Like, I'm not afraid to shit in the bathroom if I gotta go.
Not at work.
So many people say that, but I'm like, my stomach is bubbling. I ate something. That's why I used to keep my wet wipes on me. You know what I mean?
Like, it's I can't lock in like that at work. I'm sorry.
But
yeah, he called her dookie booty, and she said that though. But she said that. She's like, I hope you don't think you getting in after I went to the bathroom. And he was like, gorgeous, I shit all the time, gorgeous. I be doing it. She be like, Capone just be letting it go in the bathroom.
I mean, but just even that part, Jay, how comfortable he was. It was just so realistic. Like him calling her dookie booty. That's how people play with each other. That's how relationships be. She perfectly like, I can't even explain to you how good this freaking dialogue was. Like, I felt like that's why I fell in love with Capone, because I felt like he was talking to me. Like, I was like, okay, but yes, I thought the dialogue was off the chain. Loved it. Loved it. It was very realistic.
I definitely love the dialogue, which brings me to the theme. And it's like, what was it really about? This book was about power. It was about don't mess with my family. It was about family and not to touch my family. And I will do anything, to protect my family, and no harm will come to them, and it also shows that you can't wake up a sleeping giant, because Capone was letting him live. He said it in the first book. Trilla ain't really no threat right now. He's keeping the peace. Capone really wanted to lay flat. He was chilling. You woke up a sleeping monster because of your greed.
Exactly.
Right. It was because of Trilla's greed and him not being able to accept that he wasn't the big dog on campus no more, which is what they say, you poke the bear and now you see what happens.
You woke
right?
the sleeping giant.
You woke the sleeping giant. So that was kind of like what the theme I felt was, amidst of all the stuff that was going on, the money, the sex, the drugs. It was really, like you say, don't wake a sleeping giant. And like you say, pride becometh the falleth. And that's what really happened in this book. That's how everything started. This book started from pride. Literally, one man hating another man, and pride is the whole reason why Trilla is going to get, I feel like is going to get his later on in book 3.
Yeah, because like you said, Capone, he used to work for Trilla. And when his brother went to jail, Trilla did nothing to help him, didn't get him a good lawyer, didn't do anything. He just let him, like, okay, Capadonna and Capone could have got back at Trilla for that. They could have felt like, man, you ain't loyal. But instead they were like, we're going to break off and do our own thing. Anyway, no smoke. We used to work for you. Like, we don't anymore. Like, they could both exist. Like, it wasn't even no problem. But Trilla was upset because he felt like, I made these niggas. Like, I made these men, and they got the nerve to try to one up me, when it was like, there is no problem. You're still getting money. They just make more money, and they have a legitimate trucking business. So they're making even more money legally than you are. And the thing with Trilla is, he was just a fat bastard. He was lazy. Just like Capone said, you was telling everybody about who your family was, who your sons was. He wasn't even willing to put in the work to go do the shit. If you see book 2 and book 3, you really see, that's why I love Capone. Is not just somebody who talks that shit. He literally will get in that. He will get in it. He's not he's not a let me send my generals. And no, he is in the middle of it. Trilla is he's a piece of shit, and he's a bitch. Like, he really was. He sent everybody else to go do his dirty work because his fat ass couldn't get up to do it himself. And his pride was the reason. If he just was like, you know what, they making more money, but I still got my shit, I got my money, it's cool, none of this would have happened. But he let that pride get the best of him. So, yep, I feel like you. The themes of the book, definitely family overall. We seen Jaden get shot in the beginning. We see how not only Capone, but Joy, Ra's mom, even Aaron, everybody rallied around not only Joy, who was Jaden's girlfriend, but also Jaden. Joy, like, moved into their house to take care of them. Capone kept promising Aaron throughout this entire book, didn't I say I got you? Didn't I say I got you? That includes your family. So your aunt to move her ass in the house. And like, he gave them family, loyalty, because Capone values that, and pride. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And as we move on to 5, the city. I know you're not from the city, so I'll go with this one.
Yeah,
the city felt
this
alive.
is all you.
The city felt alive. I really like the movement. They went from one state to the next state. So it wasn't just stationary. You know how some books, it just stay in the city or stay in one area, stay in the borough. Nah, they was in Brooklyn. They was in Queens. You know what I'm saying? They was in Staten Island later on in another book. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was in Coney Island. That I'm getting too far. But they was in Delaware. You know, they was in Manhattan. When he took Erin, they was in Harlem. When he took Erin to where they pops used to take them to eat at. So I felt like moving around the city, it wasn't just stagnant. I felt like she wrote a good pace where everybody was moving around. Trilla being in Florida, or him moving around.
Yes.
You know, Rob going with her boyfriend. It was like a real good cinematic feel where it made the city feel alive. And I felt like she tackled that one excellent. And if you're from the town, if you're from New York City, you already know what I'm talking about. Which brings
your accent too, Jay, as you're talking about it. Look, you got on your, is that shirt for New York?
Yeah, that's the Mets, Yankees? New York Mets.
The Mets. Yeah. Look at him repping New York, concrete jungle.
I hate that song, right?
What?
I just hate that song. I just like
the first time I went to New York, I put this on the aux cord. I made my mommy blast it. I'm sure everybody in New York is just like typical tourists, but I was like, we're in New York. I was so excited.
Disliked it at all, man. With the writing style, we thought it was obviously we gonna say it's smooth. We ain't even going with the other word. We know her. No. It was easy to read. It wasn't hard to get through. It felt smooth. Nothing was choppy. I don't know. This one, I'm gonna leave it on you. Did you feel like was there any editing or grammar issues that pulled you out?
Yes,
and had you like,
yes. I hate to say this, but I am a person that has to be honest. And we'll get to what I rated the book, but I'm telling you, in the last book, I've seen a lot of grammar errors. This book had even more. I cannot lie. One of the biggest things that I seen was that like someone would ask someone a question, like I'm like, hey, how are you doing, Jay? And the sentence would end with a period instead of a question mark. That's really what it was. Like, I'm like, this is not a statement. This is a question. It was like missing question marks. That's the main thing that I seen. But again, I am someone who I have been trying to have more grace because especially when you're an indie author, you're not a traditionally published author. You don't have this huge publishing company to back you and hire this expensive editor. And I don't even know what it takes to even get a book published, self-published or not. So I try to be that person who's more patient with stuff like that. But I can't lie. There were so many grammar errors, especially the punctuation, missing question marks. But I love the book so much. And the writing was just so smooth that it didn't really take away from me writing. It wasn't like words random places. It was just like, I'm like, well, why? Wait, is this a question or a statement? And that would happen every time I seen it, but it didn't take away at all from my reading experience. And that is the most important thing. I've read books where I'm just like, this is pissing me off. Like, it's just too much. The book was trash already. And I was like, I'm not going to finish this. With this book, areas aside, I still immensely enjoyed it. And like you said, the writing still was smooth. It wasn't like huge gaps. It wasn't any continuation errors or anything like that. It just literally flowed one scene into the next. So, and I still think, like I said, her dialogue was on point. Her writing sucks you in. So grammar errors aside, it was still an amazing book.
I got you. I listened to it. So for me, I can't see anything. So I listened to it. And I know you're real tedious about those certain things, but the book was still fire and we love it.
It was still fire. Exactly.
We just we're keeping it real. Keeping it real and respectful.
And respectful.
That doesn't take away from that. Yeah, that doesn't take away from the book or nothing. This is no disrespect
exactly.
at all.
Exactly.
The emotional impact. Did it make you feel something? It made me feel something.
Hell
I was
yeah.
emotional.
Hell yeah.
Listening to this book, like even listening to the third book with all the, I ain't gonna get into it, but just with all the maneuvering and the power, and it was just like, I was like literally like, yo, move, slide. Hope they don't get shot. Move, you girl. I was just like, I was emotionally locked in like that. And this is where I can get the emotion that hit me hard. And we'll talk about this later in some of our notes. Joy dying.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
When she
I didn't know she was gonna do that.
Because everything she pulled on my heartstring with that one. I legit had an emotional moment where I thought I was gonna cry. The only time I cried in the book, the only time I ever really got emotional in the book is when Snake died, right? That was like an emotional moment for me. This was like, yo, what happened, bro? That's crazy, yo. And I was like, yo, she really did that to me. Like, she played on my heartstrings that whole episode. And I just felt so bad for Jaden and Cap holding them. It just like, it was just so much, man, in that moment. And I was just like, yo, I don't know if I can continue the book. I knew I was, but it was just like, that was like a pause moment. And I haven't paused listening to an audio book. I had to gather myself at the light. I was like, wait, what? I pulled over and I was lucky because I was by my church and I pulled over and I was like, yo, she really died? Like, yo, what? I'm sorry for spoiling it for you. I really don't care. But I was like, yo, she really died? That's crazy. But so for me, that moment hit me hard. So yes, I cared about what happened to every character, right? I care. And I was just emotional, man. What about you?
I think I was definitely emotional when we found out that Joey lost the baby. You know, miscarriage is something that plenty of women experience. I've experienced that. So, of course, not because I got shot in the stomach, but it was just, she was young, but she was so excited and ready to have this baby. Like, she felt connected to the baby. So I was really sad about that. And then, like you said, when she died, like, that was a twist I didn't see coming. Honestly, and this is a book where people are getting shot, you know, people are dying, and I knew characters were going to die, but not characters I had grown to love. Like, I started to really like Joy, you know. Aaron is in the hospital visiting her, bringing her McDonald's, they're joking and they're laughing. So the whole time I'm thinking, okay, they're going to get out, they're all going to move into Capone's house. And then it was like, remember she was in the hallway, they were like, cold blue. She was just laughing, and they ran and they said, call time of death. And what made me the most sad was that Sharon, which is Joy's mom, she wasn't really there for her, you know. Trash. She's in the hospital. She's shot. And her mom is like, oh, I got to go to work. I got to do this. So in her last moments, Joy didn't even have her mom there, like with her, you know, she died alone. So that definitely was emotional for me. I agree. The things that Capri was going through in this book I felt emotional about it just because, you know, Capri is such a sweet girl. She just wants to be loved. She sees her brothers doing their thing. Her mom is like really hard on her. Like, she's like, when are you going to have babies? And she just seemed like she wants to be loved. And just finding out that Naheem like was definitely cheating on her, like when he admitted it, like on their honeymoon, that was emotional for me. Cause I was like, I really just wanted love for my girl Pre. I felt like her brothers wasn't really doing enough for me, knowing that Naheem was fucking around on her. You know, they're all, yeah, if you fuck with my sister, I'm gonna fuck you up. You know, it's just like, okay, well, Naheem is fucking cheating on her, and y'all just like, well, try to make it work. I'm like, huh? Like, I just feel like she didn't really have anybody who had her back. The fact that we knew that Naheem was messing around with Tasha, the situation with Ella, like, I just felt for my girl Pre. She's one of my favorite characters, right behind Capone, and what she was going through and just her sadness and how stressed out she was definitely was emotional for me. When Aaron found out she was pregnant, that was so beautiful. You remember when the moment when he took her to the elephant like sanctuary and the elephant trunk was on her stomach because the elephant knew she was pregnant, which, I mean, it wasn't emotional necessarily, but it was just, finding out a woman is pregnant is just so exciting. Like, I was like, oh. So there were definitely moments that was just like, oh my gosh, or, oh, you know. So I definitely felt emotionally, you know, Jake, you know, I'm kind of crazy anyway, but I definitely felt. Why you say yeah? You're supposed to disagree. I say, you know I'm crazy, right? And you say yeah. You're supposed to be like, no, Kier, you're not. Let's try that again. Jay, you know I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy. Of course not. Of course not.
You just readily agree. You was like, yeah. But yes, I'm like, I don't even get no, like, no, you're not that. But yes, definitely emotionally connected to this book. Everything that was happening, I felt like this happened to my mom or my sister or my cousin or, you know, whatever. So yeah, it grabbed me by the heartstrings. Absolutely.
I got you. For the originality, I think we can both go with it. It wasn't the same.
I've never read anything like this.
It was a new flavor. It felt fresh. Nothing felt recycled. Everything was just good. And it definitely stands out to us in the urban fiction. Like I said, I'm not really a big urban fiction person, but I've read some urban fiction. And for me, these two books is up there. Like,
yes,
I think I have to put that up there to start the debate with the fantasies. And we're gonna have our episode where we rate our top 5 books that we read for this year. You know, that's gonna come at the end. We're gonna make sure we drop that before the end of the year.
Absolutely.
But these is gonna be up there in that later video. I'm telling you. I'm gonna
have to combine them because if I do top 5,
we doing top 5
books,
fantasy and
it's just like,
okay, because I'm like, and or romance. No. We doing top 5 all. I was gonna say, because if we just do top 5, I read 3 of the books from the Delgado family series. All 3 of these would be in my top reads of the year, and I don't think that's fair. I just read them in December. Matter, though.
So I was just like, damn, if we do top 5, this is gonna be 3 out of the 5. I'm not even lying. I just am obsessed, Jay. I was already on Etsy. Like, they gotta have some Delgado family merch. I want a t-shirt, a sweater, something. Like, that's, you know how I get. I'm like obsessed. I need the merch. I need everything. I need a signed book, something. I'm obsessed with this series. But I agree, 100% original. It's different from the first book, even with it being a sequel. Like, you know how hard that is to do keep them entertained for the second book.
26 books.
It's 26 books, and I'm still excited to read the next book and completely original. I've never read anything like this. 100%. So
I got you. On their conversation starters, we can go into a couple of the questions. What parts had you hooked in the book?
Let's see. I'm going through my notes. I think the part that had me hooked was when we found out what happened with Aaron's parents.
Mm-hmm.
We find out in this book that the reason why Aaron's dad killed his wife and then himself is what he was actually working for Trilla. Mm-hmm. And so was Joy's husband, who is Aaron's auntie. Like, her husband was working for Trilla, and I guess they was stealing, which I'm like, you look, I love her parents, God rest her soul, but what were you thinking? Yes, and the mom was involved, and they were stealing. And when Trilla found out, he said, look, either you handle yourselves, you kill yourself and kill your wife, or I'm going to kill your kids in front of you. And of course, the dad, he loves his kids. He would never want his kids to pay for his mistake. That's why his dad killed himself and his mom. So finding out that definitely had me hooked, because I knew there had to be more to that. You know, like, why would the dad just kill them? Yeah, because they love their kids. They were a happy family. The mom and dad may have argued, but they weren't like mad at each other. We find that out. That definitely had me hooked. Anyway, I'll let you go next.
Nah, for me, like, they had when Capri had when King K was caught slipping, when they went to that Delaware low lounge nightclub
spot. When Capri had to pull out the glicky, yes,
the she had to pull out the gun and start busting because King K was on his pills and he got caught slipping, didn't have his iron on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like that's what we saw. That was the first time we saw Capri handle business. You know what I'm saying? We found out that she could really shoot up.
She wasn't afraid at all. She was just afraid. Like, she had her gun on her.
She made the adjustment. She was able to shoot Son, and they was able to get up out of there, you know, because Son wanted to sex traffic her. And she like, what? Sex traffic me? Yeah. You're not about to take me. So I thought that was one of my favorite scenes. And we'll talk more about that in the beginning. What parts of the book had you rolling your eyes?
It was one part when, and I have the quote, Aaron says, it was something about a man with a slight bow leg that turned me on. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think bow legs are I don't think that's cute. I just kept picturing this thug dude walk like this, you know, and I was just like, that's not cute. And then I feel like in the next book they say something else, like King K has a bow leg, and I'm like, okay. That had me rolling my eyes. I told you, I know that Gorgeous is his nickname for her, trust me, but I got tired of him using, but I guess it was like Gorgeous this, Gorgeous that, Gorgeous this, Gorgeous. But I think that's their thing, because she could only tell that he was really mad at her when he called her Aaron. So I guess that would, but I was just like, why can't you just call her baby? Yeah, baby. But I was just like, Gorgeous. That had me like, okay, we get it. She's cute. We get it. That's her nickname. But I was like, what about you?
Rod dating Trilla's nephew. That had me rolling my eyes.
God.
She's just getting on my nerves. I feel like she's just doing so much. And we'll talk about her in book 3. I hope she make amends. I'm giving away a little bit, but just her dating Trilla's nephew and not really getting information. You just doing it because you just want to be loved. Like, and you don't really know who's who. Like, you playing a dangerous game and you putting Erin in harm's way. So for her not to really realize it, I thought that was like a dumb move on her. That definitely had me.
Dude, like,
she was the one that had me rolling out my eyes in this book.
Seriously, she knew who Capone was. Like, so I'm like, how could you not know who Trilla was? And then you're sitting there chilling with your boyfriend Tevin, and Trilla is right there. And you know, Trilla and Capone got history, and you don't mention that to Aaron at all. You don't say shit. Nothing. That definitely did have me rolling my eyes. And she just kind of disappeared in this book. You know, I and Aaron are supposed to be best friends. They're like sisters, you know, and Jaden is in the hospital. He got shot. He could have died. Rod never came to visit. Like, she just never came around. I honestly thought, like, is she dead? Like, is she secretly dead? Because she was never around. She didn't call, really. She didn't check. And Aaron and her never really had a fight. It was just, you know, she was chilling with Tevin, supposed to be getting a mommy makeover and shit like that. She was in Miami, but they didn't have a fight. She just disappeared. So that definitely had me like side-eyeing her a bit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where the fuck are you at? Literally, your little cousin has gotten shot and you're just like,
you're not nowhere I'm in Miami.
Welcome to Miami. Yeah, trying to get a BBL. Like, get your ass back home and check on your cousin.
Was this a must read, a cool read? We ain't going to even go DNF because we did not DNF the book.
We didn't DNF it. It was an absolute must read. What's the other one? Is it Fire? What is it?
And then we're going to get to that one.
Okay, I'm going to say, yes, absolutely a must read. Must read, 100%
I got
must
you.
read.
Same here with the must read. Now we're going into the final verdict. So what is we're going to do this first. Is it certified, solid but flawed, mid, or obviously, I ain't going to say not it in DNF. We're going to go with certified heat.
I still say certified. It was heat, certified. Yo. Yes, certified, it was certified heat. Like I said, there was so many things. The shootout with Capri, finding out that Timmy was like dead, and then finding out he wasn't dead. Like, I was like, what the hell? Then finding out who Timmy's dad is. It was Trilla. The thing that there was just so many things happening in this book. Like it just, right when I'm thinking, okay, I can relax, boom, something else happens. Absolute certified heat. Flames. Again.
Same here. Flames, right? So before we give our bookmarks, right? Let's talk about some of the things that we might have missed. We find out that, well, some of the things in the book, we did find out that Joy did die to her wounds, right? We find out that Ra and Aaron, they don't really speak in this book too much. Kind of Ra fades out to black. We know that Kincaid takes Capri down to Delaware and they get into a shootout. We also find out that Kincaid and Capone actually come back and they shoot them Delaware dudes up and really knock them down because of what they did to his sister. So we find out that they went back and lit it up because he wasn't going to let that slide with his sister. So that was another thing that happened. Naeem, we got to give him some credit. He faced his you could say somebody like his older brother. He went up to Capadonna to visit him and told him, you know, what he did and how he wanted to make it happen. And Cap was like, you know, disappointed, but
he expected it. He said that.
Cap, he said he expected it, but he also shows Naeem some grace because he came up there and told him like a man. And Naeem always said it. He like, I didn't sweat Cap when I first came, when I got locked up. You know, I kind of just wanted to do my time, and Cap kind of me and him kind of gravitated towards each other. So he knew he wasn't just no type sucker dude. So I thought that I'm glad that he respected it. We know Erin gets pregnant and she gets engaged in this book.
Yes.
We know the Naeem, Capri, and Kincaid love triangle.
Had a little love triangle.
We find out also that Trilla wants his son for a son, you know, because we find out that also in this book that we don't want to miss nothing. Capone killed Trilla's son and he left him in front of his mom's crib,
who's a judge. Yep.
Who was a federal judge. So let me say it again. Capone killed Trilla's son, who was in the game. He was in the streets. So he killed his son and left him on his mother's doorstep, who is a federal judge. So I thought Capone was definitely wilding out.
He was sending a message. You gonna fuck with me? I'm taking your son. And he continues to take people from Trilla. Yeah.
Exactly. So those some of the things that happened. And we find out that Tasha says she had feelings for Naeem. Is this the one where we find out that Tasha is...
Yeah, she says it at the end of this book.
Yeah. So Tasha's pregnant because she rose up on Capri and she kind of tells her at the end of the book that she's pregnant with Naeem's baby.
Which honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I was really sick and tired of Tasha. At the end of every book, she's coming, this is your son, I'm pregnant by you. And I just keep thinking I could not stand her. It was, finding out that she kind of really liked Naeem, but finding out that
it was money hungry.
She was money hungry, and also that she felt like trying to get back at Capri, like Capri is just so perfect. But I'm like, Capri never acted like she was perfect. She was a down girl for her girls. Like, them was her girls. It hurt her when they cut her. Like, she never acted above them. She's a down to earth girl. Ella lost a baby. She's trying to be there for her constantly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, did we find out in this book, or is it the next book why Aaron don't like Capri?
We're going to find out in the next book.
Okay. But I just feel like, Tasha got on my nerves this book. But yes, we found out at the end. She comes through. She sees Capri and Naeem eating at the restaurant. And she comes through and says, hey, sister wife, I'm pregnant. I was like,
and that goes the end of the book. And wait till you finish up and get to book 3. So let's get into the end. Y'all know we run that bookmark system 1 through 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest on the rating. I told you the last one, I think I gave it like a 4.0, a 4 bookmarks. This one, I'm not going to lie to you, this one like a 4.5. And if you see where I'm going, I get you. 4.5. This one is a 4.5 bookmark. So that's damn near perfect right there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I gave it a 4.5. What about you?
I gave it a 5 bookmarks.
She living up. She living up to her 5 bookmark expectation. She is not
and y'all don't even understand. I'm the one that usually is stingy with my bookmarks. I'd be like, but honestly, I just love the book. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. It was perfect to me, even with the grammar errors. And I truly thought, I'm gonna rate it like 4.8 because there are plenty of grammar errors. But I have to look at, did I still enjoy it? Yes. It did not take away from the story. It just because of a few missing question marks. I haven't just been this excited, this happy to talk about a book in so long, Jay. Like, I feel like it's making me enjoy reading again, because I feel like I'm just that reader who we have a book podcast, so I'm always like looking at things like, okay, critique wise, is this good? Is this book I didn't even have to think like that because I flew through it. I ate it up. Five bookmarks.
So Key got the first book. I gave it a 4. The second book, I gave it a 4.5. She got 2 5s. So, Jahquel, you rolling high over here at the Key and J Book Podcast. And I have to say this before we get off, because these 2 books sent me, I never felt like this since I haven't felt like this since I read Tracy Wolf's back to back. I think Crush and Crave is my 2 favorite books, right? Of all time, right? But I have to say this. Jahquel has moved up. She is my second favorite author.
Behind right what, Frida?
Now. Behind Frida, of course, now.
Yeah.
So she is my second. I got a feeling that she's going to surpass and become my favorite author. She's past Tracy Wolf. So right now, it's Frida McFadden, it's Jahquel, and then it's Tracy Wolf, then it's Rebecca Yarros, then it's Geneva Rose, right? Then, for me, she's my number 2 right now. And I feel like she's just going to just move up. You know, I only did 2 books. I've done like 15 Frida books. So I want to make sure I give it proper due as we move into the series to just jump. You know what I'm saying? But man, these 2 books, I read the 3rd book, so I already know like it's heels right now. So that's.
I'd say just like you, she is definitely becoming one of my favorite authors. My favorite author right now, I've been talking about her all over, is Catherine Webb. She has this Park Brothers series. It's an interracial romance series. Catherine is one of my favorite Black authors, one of my favorite authors, period. But Jahquel is definitely moving up that list because, like I said, I cannot get enough of her books. And people, if you follow me on TikTok, then you would see I don't want to say I'm a bitch when it comes to books, but I try to be as honest as I can. Sometimes I can be a little mean, but I'm not nice when it comes to like, oh, did I, so me being this nice and this following it. Yes, because it's my passion. I like talking about books. I like talking about good books. And the fact that I rated 2 books back to back 5 stars in the same series, that never happens. I'm so serious with you. It never happens. Like the only series I feel like I've done that with probably has been, me and Jay are both really big fans of Crave, Twilight, Harry Potter from way back when. But that almost never happens with me. So absolutely 5 out of 5 bookmarks. I cannot wait to finish this 26, 27 book series and continue to read Jahquel's catalog. Like that's my thing next year. I'm going to read all of her books. I'm going to read every single one because I'm locked in for real. Yes.
But that's what's up, man. We're going to see y'all next week. We know everybody have a happy, Merry Christmas. Don't forget that it's Christ's birthday. Don't forget the reason why we celebrate Christmas. You know what I'm saying? But happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Anything you want to say
before we get out of here, Key?
I want to say, what's that Temptation song? They got a Merry Christmas
to you. That voice cracked a little.
I can't. I know this. I was like,
Silent night. But Merry
That's
Christmas,
all I had to say.
man.
Merry
We about
Christmas.
to get up out of here. I'm the speaker. I can't even. She's the leader. I'm just that speaker. Peace, y'all.
Peace.